What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at some Great League Remix battles. This meta has been pretty awesome, banning all the top Pokemon, and it's given a few more Pokemon a chance to shine, which is really exciting, especially with the updated list. So today we're going to be looking at a triple safe swap team. Now, I know that doesn't really make sense because your safe swaps for Pokemon you switch in if you lose lead. So we're just basically looking at three Pokemon that are generally safe, and that's what we're actually looking at right here on this screen. We're looking at Sableye, who's going to be on our lead, Weezing, who is generally our safe swap, and then Double. The three pair pretty well together. There's not like a bunch of core breakers, but there are some. So we'll look into what those are during the battles. But just to kind of speak on the Pokemon that we have here on screen, Sableye, I'm running the non-Shadow. I'm actually running the Purified with Return, which is actually rank 66, not 17. If you're going to run it on the lead like I did, you probably do want to run the Shadow. Or you could run the Purified with Power Gem. That could also be an option, or just like a regular Sableye. We're also running Weezing, but we're running obviously the Glare and Weezing, but we're not running the Shadow as well, so that's going to be rank 6. And then we're just running the regular Double. I think the team as a whole was pretty strong, so let's just take a look at the battles. You'll notice Shadow, or the non-Shadow Sableye on the lead, and we run it into a tough lead right in the beginning. We got a Fairy type, but we're going to check the fast move first, because if they are not on Charm, then this is actually an okay matchup for us. And they don't even build up to the Dazzling Gleam, they just go straight Weather Ball. And then they catch the return onto Weezing. So that's not resisted, so that's actually okay that it lands here. And then we just come in Double, just because we can outpace to a hard-hitting move here. And we want our Weezing maybe later on the Ninetails. So but then they come in with Golurk. So I am gonna farm up all the way just to force them to throw. They should throw right away, which means this is only a Shadow Punch. So we can very comfortably take this. It looks like I'm only gonna get to one move, so I will full send the Payback here. This should grab a shield, which is good. Looks like we would have made it to the Body Slam, so we could have Body Slam baited and then gone for the Payback, but unfortunately that is not the case. They do get the full farm down, but we have 2 shields. And at this point, we can let this go because we can make it to a Brutal Swing on Weezing in 8 turns or 4 Fairy Winds. So we will shield up everything here. They do just go for the Shadow Punch. Obviously, Dynamic Punch double resisted. So we're just going to go ahead, take this out. Not throwing on perfect timing, just want to get that Pokemon out, and now we have a 1 shield advantage. They are energy dry, but they did farm up to a potential side shock here, so I will respect it. They just go straight Weather Ball, and then we outpace to the Play Rough and take them out. So lost lead there, but we still take that win. Drifblim, this is a great lead for us. Astonish is still neutral, but then they come in with Typhlosion, and I don't have the best answer for this. They do just go straight Thunder Punch, and it is the non-Shadow, so I can live this pretty comfortably. It does still put me in the yellow after the Incinerates, but that lets me go for the Foul Play to potentially grab a shield or take them out. This time I catch the next Thunder Punch onto the Double. I'm thinking my Double has a pretty decent matchup into their Drifblim on the lead anyways, so the Astonish being double resisted. Even though our fast move is resisted, we do have a super effective coverage move, so if they want to come back with that, they're not going to be able to farm us down. And we actually outpace to the first move because of our slight overfarm in the mid game. And we land the Payback, which is huge, because now we can just let this go, farm down with Sableye. They actually don't KO, then they come in with their own Weezing. So now they have an energy advantage, but we will have a shield advantage if we come in with our own Weezing. So we can just do that. And I will shield the first in case they are running Overheat. They did farm up to it, so I will respect it, and they are. So that's actually a huge shield there. It looks like they stopped. Oh, maybe they just lagged. I thought maybe they had stopped tapping, but no. And then now we're just going to go for the play rough because that's all we have, and that's our harder hitting move here. It's stab. Go for another play rough before they get off the next move. If they shield this, we will shield again. We've got the shield advantage. Their Drifblim overfarmed a little bit, but they're not out of move, so we're not really worried about that. They full send another overheat, and then they come back in with the Drifblim. We farm up right before they get to the next move, throw off that brutal swing, or get off that brutal swing and throw it, and then they come back in with their Wheezing, and at this point they're just about in brutal swing range. I think this will take out just barely, yeah, just barely takes out the Wheezing, and we take that game. Into the next match, another Drifblim lead. So obviously we're going to play this out the same. We're going to stay in this matchup, but this time this Drifblim is staying in. And we are very willing to play this out. We will always outpace here. Astonish, while it does do a lot of damage, not the fastest charging move. And we do have these super effective Shadow Claws. So we're just going to match shields here because at this point our Shadow Claws are doing enough damage that even if they debuff us with the Icy Wind, we can still take them out with a foul play. That being said, they switch into a Greedent, and we have a great response in Double in the back. And I guess while this matchup plays out, this will give me a good opportunity to kind of talk about how I built this team. Sableye obviously has one weakness, and that's Fairy. So we have Wheezing to cover that because it's got that half poison typing. And then it also struggles against dark and normal types because the Shadow Claws are resisted. And so that's why we have a double kick fighting user kind of in the back just to deal with those. That being said, they get the full farm down on our double after we take switch. They come in with Machamp. We've got a very good matchup here. And then they come in with the Drifblim. We have a lot of energy here, so we are just going to farm up a little bit and then get off this brutal swing, which takes them out. And at this point, after the Fairy Winds, they probably were in just brutal swing Fairy Wind range, but I decided to come in with my Sableye, get off the foul play, and that pretty much secures the win because I don't think any one move can take me out unless they full send the move and then they're going to be energy dry. So they have to cross chop. They know that. That lets me get to another foul play because they cannot karate chop down a ghost type. And we take that win. So as you're seeing, the pairing of these three worked surprisingly well. Okay, another bad lead. This is one where we actually have to get out. I will come double because otherwise I'm going to come in Wheezing down energy, which is not a good matchup for double. But for some reason, they decided to come in with Guzzlord. And then they shield the first move, so I'm not really sure what my opponent's doing here. But now we're just going to get off this Body Slam spam. They know they can live that. I don't even think a Brutal Swing will take me out from this range. Double's got some decent bulk to it, so I'm going to let this go. It doesn't, so now we get off another... we would have gotten off another Body Slam, but they dump all their energy to take me out on the CMP tie, so that's fine with us. Because now we can come in with Wheezing, get the full farm down, and now we have shield advantage and an energy lead on their Wheezing. So my opponent just resigns the match. Don't know what that third Pokemon in the back was, but we may never know. Into the next match, Bastion on the lead. So this is a pretty neutral matchup, actually. I believe in the ones, it's an okay matchup for Sableye. Obviously, as more shields get used, it's more comfortable, especially because our opponent is more inclined to not use shields. This on their Bastion, it's just not going to do any damage. So we are just going to continually overfarm, making sure we're throwing on good timing with these foul plays, because that will let us get to another foul play, which is huge, because this will threaten. Looks like just barely not a knockout, but or maybe it would have. So my opponent shields, and so we're comfortable losing this in the ones. We maybe could have farmed down in the twos, but now we can just take this opportunity to get an energy lead on double. Double energy is good into pretty much everything, but they do come in with a Fairy. So we're going to chip with a Body Slam and then probably get right into Wheezing. No, we're actually staying in this matchup. We're going to get off another Body Slam. So that does mean we're going to be energy dry at this point, but now we'll probably come in Wheezing. No, we're staying in this matchup. We try and go for a catch there, but they hold on to their energy. I'm hoping they're not running Meteor Mash, and for some reason they full send the Moonblast. That does do more damage on its own, but multiple Swifts probably would be more energy efficient, I imagine, instead of a resisted move. Are they going to throw another resisted move? They are. What is that Pokemon in the back? And it's a Goodra. So now I know I've made a huge mistake by not shielding my Weezing, because now I can only get to a Brutal Swing. Fortunately, my opponent didn't know my counts, and they shield that. So now I just have to farm up. I think this Goodra can be taken out with a Payback plus a Body Slam. So I'm going to full send the Payback first. That does a lot more damage than I thought, so maybe double Body Slam would have been the better play. As long as they're not at back-to-back moves here, I think we've won this game, and we have. So we get off that Body Slam, and this will take out the Goodra. And we're able to take that win with the Clefable at 1 HP in the back and not at a move. Had my opponent maybe gone for Swifts, who knows? Maybe they were single moved, I have no idea. Into the next match, we've got an Ariados in the lead. That's a good lead. They come in with a Hack Moho, and unfortunately for my opponent, we have these double super effective Fairy Winds to take them out. Brick Break, Dragon Claw, everything is double resisted, so I'm going to go for a Brutal Swing. I know this is resisted, but it's just going to do a little bit of chip, and then I can go for the full farm down with Fairy Winds, and that way I can come out with a lot of energy. I didn't really want to go over 100 energy, and I thought if I just went for the full Fairy Wind down, that I would be over 100 energy, and them landing another Brick Break just means that my opponent will get less farm. But then they come in with Bastion on. So I actually pivot into my Sableye because I'm reading that they were trying to draw it back out, maybe, or I don't know, maybe they didn't want Weezing to see whatever is in the back. But obviously we know it's the Ariados. But I think the only reason we're saving the Weezing is everything from the Ariados is resisted on the Weezing, so we can actually use it to our advantage in that case. But we can just let this go. We chipped the Bastion pretty low. They actually catch the foul play on the Ariados, which probably just means we can come in with the Weezing because we are loaded on energy. And we can just go for the Brutal Swing spam here. They will shield that. We overfarm for some reason. This may still not take out. Oh, they're actually running Cross Poison, so it does. So now this is actually a little bit more of an interesting game because if they are also running Lunge, they can permanently debuff our Dubwell. And because they just shielded that, there's a good chance they are. I won't shield the first. And it's just another Cross Poison. Fortunately for me, they do not get the boost. I will shield the second. I've got 2 shields remaining. I got to use them at some point in this matchup. And I'm just watching for the catch, and they do not get it. I hold on to my energy, and then I CMP'd them on the move, and it looks like they quit at the exact same time, so we take that win. Lickilicky. Okay, this is a bad lead, but we obviously can't come in on a hard answer here, so we're going to come in with Weezing. And this is just where Weezing can be a pretty good safe swap. Just because it's so neutral into a lot of things. They could have Earthquake on this Pokemon, so I will respect it, especially because they're staying in. I think that's probably what my opponent's doing. Yep, and they full send the Earthquake, so that's good for me. And now at this point, I am at a Play Rough when they make it to the next move, so I will throw this, and they shield. So now I'm trying to get this Brutal Swing off just because I knew they were going to get off the Earthquake on the next turn. So I'll get it off. They're probably going to go for one more roll up and then the Earthquake here. At this point, I can let it go because the switch timer is up and I can just align my Dubwell onto it. And this might honestly be another Earthquake, depending on how much they overfarm. Nope, just a Body Slam. We are just going to go for the full double kick farm down, even if they get to an Earthquake here. Just because we've already used a shield in this matchup, we don't want to go down on 2 shields. Fortunately for us, it's just another Body Slam, and then they have Machamp in the back. So this is why they did not switch, is because Weezing hard answered their Pokemon in the back. And then they have a Whimsicott in the back, but now they have no shields. So I'm going to respect a potential Moonblast here. I'm going to overfarm just a little bit, just to where I'm comfortable. Go for 4 extra Shadow Claws right before they make it to the Seed Bomb. I will get off this return and take them out. And now my Sableye is healthy enough to take on this Machamp. If this is not a Rock Slide or a Stone Edge, I will survive this. It's once again just the Cross Chop. And now I make it to a return before they make it to the next Cross Chop, and this will be way overkill for the Machamp and absolutely take them out. So we take that win. So a lot of really good wins with this team so far. Okay, another Ninetails. Is this one on Charm? It is. Okay, so now we get out from that matchup into the Weezing, and they come in with, what was that? I didn't even see what came in. Bastiodon. Okay, so why did I come in Weezing? It was a misclick. In that matchup, I should be coming in double because Weezing is kind of my hard answer there. There is the potential that they're running Side Shock, so maybe it's not my hard answer, but I think double should have been the safe switch in that scenario. I am shielding this matchup because I want to save my Weezing, so that is interesting. And now I'm going to come in with double, and they come in with Ninetales, which is good because that means we are no longer aligned our Sableye to this Charmer, which is huge. And we are at the back-to-back body slams, but that does probably mean they have something else weak to fighting in the back. I'm imagining it's probably a Steelix, just because there have been a lot of Steelix in this cup. And now we can just come in with our Weezing. I will shield this up because I don't really have a choice. It looks like I was fast move denied. And then there is the Bastiodon. So this is going to be a really hard matchup to come out of because we have yet to even see that third Pokemon, and they're probably going to get off a move here because we cannot take out with the Foul Plays and Shadow Claws. Yeah. So this is probably going to be a loss, especially if it's a fast move Pokemon in the back like we're expecting. We do get the full farm down, which is nice. They come in with Ninetales. I am forced to throw this Foul Play on the Ninetales just to chip. It doesn't even take out, so now I need to go with a Fairy Wind farm down. What is that Pokemon in the back? It is a Deoxys. Okay, we might have a chance. Counter is double resisted. The new energy generation is slower. I make it to back-to-back Brutal Swings, and I believe I win CNP. So I think we can actually take this game as long as two Brutal Swings take out. It's going to be really close. It looks like that was the CNP tie. If this takes out, I win this game. And it does. So we had the absolute perfect Pokemon for us in the back, and we were actually able to take that win, which is crazy. Had it been the Steelix, we were done for. That would make them ABA weak to fire, though, so maybe that makes more sense. We see Ninetales again into the next match. They were on Power Snow. I go for the Dazzling Gleam catch onto my double, and we draw out a Whiscash. Fortunately, we did use the correct Pokemon to safe switch, because drawing out the Whiscash is good because that means our Weezing won't see it, unless they're on double Mudboy, which has been pretty common in this cup. So I do farm up right before they make the next move, and I actually decided to go for the payback here because I thought they might think this is a Body Slam and let it go. So that means we flip switch, which is huge because now we can put their Ninetales onto us, and they're forced to throw energy because we would make it to a Body Slam, which is huge because if they're running Powder Snow, unfortunately in this cup it seems like a lot of them are running Psyshock, so I probably will shield the first just to respect it, and because they did farm up enough I think, but they're only at the Weather Ball, and this can only be another Weather Ball because they didn't farm back up, so my opponent is running Dazzling Gleam, thankfully for us. And they're already at another Weather Ball, so they are absolutely spamming these Weather Balls. At this point I can probably come back in with Sableye, yeah, and they come in with Golurk at the same time. I do throw on good timing there because we had that one turn switch. So after 4 Mudslaps, get off a Foul Play, and if they don't throw, I'm going to make it to another Foul Play, which is huge. And take out this Golurk, or no, because they have 2 shields. We did have that residual energy. At this point, they're at back-to-back move, so I have to throw my Brutal Swing on CMP. They full send a Dynamic Punch. But I would not live another Mud Slap, so I had to throw this move, and then we're going for the Brutal Swing, hoping that they are low enough to take this out because we cannot survive another fast move, and we actually end that game in a draw. So very close match between my opponent and I, but into the next match we got a Miltank on the lead, so we've seen this. We switch into our safe swap of Weezing because double is our hard answer. And they throw after 5. This could be an Ice Beam, could be a Thunderbolt, could be a Body Slam, and it is just a Body Slam. And we're going to full send the Play Rough here because if they're staying in this matchup, they're probably weak to this in the back. And they just throw instantly right away, which means this is only another Body Slam, which is okay for us. We will very comfortably take this. And then they come in with a Wall Rain. Looks like we could have made it to back-to-back Brutal Swings there and instead of throwing the Play Rough, especially because they're likely to shield here. But because my opponent was so slow on the swap, we can actually come in with Dub Wall. At this point, they are at back-to-back Icicle Spear, so I will let the first go in case they bait, and they do, which is huge. And then they go off for that second Icicle Spear. So we will match shields here, and I can go for 3 and the move, so I may as well go for the either shield or takeout of the Wall Rain. They let that go. And who is in the back? It's a Poliwrath. So we do make it to the Body Slam, so this will be a nice chip. And then obviously both of our Pokemon in the front are strong in a Poliwrath. So we come in with our Sableye. They're probably going to bait with Icy Wind, but I am not going to call it this time. Unfortunately, we do use our shield here. And I think that was just because I knew I could take this out with a return. And I do. Foul Play would not take out from that range. So that was the right play by my opponent to probably call that. But I do get to the Foul Play here, and while this is resisted, they are low enough at this point that even my low HP Weezing would be able to farm down if they let that go. My opponent does make it to move here. They have to full send to take me out, which they do. Fortunately, my Weezing double resist the counters. I go for the catch unnecessarily, and it looks like I thought my opponent would have been on a move at that point, but I guess they weren't. So even with that misplay towards the end, we were able to live those counters and get to the Brutal Swing and take out the Poliwrath to win that game. But that was actually the last match. This is restarting the video. But yeah, that's my team. That is the triple save swap team. I actually had so much fun with this team, and I gained like 200 ELO, I think, with it. I've been fluctuating a lot. I lost a bunch in the Little Cup, and I didn't really play a whole lot last week. So it's been nice to kind of climb back up, hit Veteran again, and hopefully make that push for Expert before it gets too late in the season, because now it's starting to get pretty late in the season, and I do want to make that Legend push soon. Yeah, a lot of fun with this team. It did feel very safe. Like all these Pokemon have good safe play generally into most of the meta. And that dark coverage on all 3 of these Pokemon was actually really useful because there's a lot of things weak to dark in this meta. But there are also a lot of dark Pokemon in this meta. So yeah, it's kind of a good combination of things. Having that dark type coverage without having that fighting type weakness is pretty nice, especially on the lead 2 Pokemon. So yeah. That's the team. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Peace.